Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Good Voch in America. Leilu Nishmasimi Mirosi Ruspas Mordechai. Today's shir is sponsored by Fishel Gross, Refuah, Bryna, Refuah Shlomo for Bryna, Bas Yenta Devora, and for Avraham Yosef ben Chana, and the Cholah Meron, and for the safety of all our chayalim guarding us. And I'm going to add, and the chayalim from Karlin Stalin. By Yehuda, Shlomo, Zalman, Mendlowitz, who is a chassan today. Yes! Yehuda is a fan of your wonderful Daf Yomi Shir Fellowship Club and regular listener. He quietly participates from just a few blocks away on Nachal Dol Lev. Akiva, don't you live there? You know this guy? Shlomo Zalman Mendlowitz. He loves to share your comments and audiovisual presentations. Your Kutach Habavli demonstration was one of his favorites. Keep up the wonderful work and big Mazel Tov to the Yehuda and his Kallah, Elisheva, Akierman, also from Ramat Shemesh, Ramat Shalom. By Mordechai Sapoznick sponsoring this year for Mazel Tov to his parents, R Michel Brocha Sapoznick, on the birth of a grandson. May they have a lot of nachas from all their children and grandchildren. Gewaldig. All right, Rabbi, so we have a tremendous daf today. Just a lot of words. We're going to put it on. We're going to speed it up because it's agadata, it's easy, it's geschmack. Yes. Tonight, the big chasana for Yaakov Citrin. Thanks for reminding me. And no, I did not bring it again. False alarm. Rabbi Isai, do not go to the chasana. It is tonight, but nobody go. No, when is it new? Shkoyach, Ari. Next week you'll get that present. Aaron Rozovsky from South Africa. Hi, Rebelli. Aaron Rozovsky. You know him? How do you pronounce it? Rozovsky. Aaron Rozovsky, descendant of Reb Shmuel Rozovsky. Mistama. Why not? Wishing you and your family, extended MDY crew, a good yontif. Many thanks for all the hard work you put into this year. Baruch Hashem, I'm still on track with Daf, using either the app or YouTube. The app, because he's from South Africa. Leon Welcher. May Hashem shower you and your helpers with bracha ad b'lidah, your ever indebted Talmud, Aaron Rozovsky, South Africa. Amen. What? Then we have here from DA. Wow, no wonder B'li Ayin Hara, why this year is so successful. He's talking about you. What you gave up in business, Hashem is granting you in Talmidim is chusim. May Hashem bless you. Continue and sit and learn, inspire, and grow your yeshiva Talmidim around the world. That your partner should continue to grow the business so you can sit and learn. Have a great yontiv. DA from Staten Island. Woo! That's his name. Oh,
What did you do to that?
I saw the video with the bull. Did you see the video? Who didn't see the video? Greetings. Although I committed to learn the daf, I find that sometimes I miss it. I hope the sponsors of the Gemara Michael. If I miss sometimes, your input is welcome. Thanks. Avram Y. Gans. I hope he's still in the share. This is from a while ago. I'm sure the Moichel, humans are humans. This is from West Hempstead, New York. Thanks for sharing your father's story with us. We must never lose hope. Donnie Morris was such an amazing person. Had a great time meeting the Chaver, watching live in the 5 Towns Motzei Shabbos. Looking forward to the Kotel Daf, as well as every other daf. We here in New York are praying for our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael that everyone should be saved. Glenn, Akierman, West Hempstead, New York. All right. Because we have a long daf, let's get into it with daf Lamed Ches Amud Aleph, all the way in the top. Huh? More? We have more. You want more? No. Yaakov doesn't want more? You don't want more? All right. Come. You sit over here. You go over there. I'm not joking. You're out. I'm out. Yeah? You don't want emails? Out. Let's go, Avi. Okay, tomorrow. Zok the Gemara. Don't ever. Nikarnan asin isim l'dal soisov. Mendy's all out of. Nikarnan asin isim l'dal soisov. How many times do I have to tell him? No. He's out of control, this guy. All right, so the tremendous nisim that happened with the doors of, right over here. It's out of, but okay, here. Right here. These doors, Nikonar. Where are the nisim? We're going to see on today's daf a whole bunch of They knew how to. They were workmen. What do they call them? They had craftsmen. That's the word. Artisans. We're going to use Yaakov's things. Artisans from Alexandria. So he went there to okay, I'm missing the words. No, what's the word, Yaakov? No, to commission. To commission doors. Because over there they know how to make beautiful doors for the Beis Hamikdash. And on the way back, somehow from Mitzrayim to Eretz Yisrael, some sort of ocean. Never thought about it. There was major waves. They decided that the way to save the ship is to throw one of these heavy doors into the water. And the ocean didn't come down. They wanted to throw in the second door. Can you imagine the love he had for this? He grabbed it, he hugged it, he said, Omar Lohem, Hatiluni ima. If you're going to throw that one in, throw me in. It's like he lost himself. I mean, halachically, it's probably awesome to do that, but there's no choice. This is for the Beis Hamikdash. What are they going to do? Yes, he was a very chashuv person. What are they going to do with this one door? I don't know. But yeah, he was a Jewish guy. They showed him say he was a chashuv person. Miyad noch hayab mizapoi. Because he said this and he was willing to give up his life for the Beis Hamikdash, the sea calmed. And he said, whoa, I wish I could have done this before and I should have given up my life on the first door. Rashi says, port. They suddenly noticed the door right there by the ship. The second shot is, a creature in the ocean swallowed the door and spit it up right there when they arrived in Eretz Yisrael. And we can learn from the pasuk that Shlomo Melech says, the beams of our house are made out of cedar. Rohitenu means doors. Beroisim. So the simple pshat is our doors are made out of cypress. There was a covenant, a bris with the yam, and they took care of the door. Now let me ask you a question. If the second pshat is the correct pshat, that a giant whale came and swallowed the door, so how does he learn pshat in this pasuk? Says Rashi, brias yam. That's how they learn the second pshat. Not bris yam, brias yam. There's a bria in the water that swallowed the door. Later on, as the Gemara describes in a few places, when Klal Yisrael became wealthier, they changed everything into gold. In the beginning, it was made out of simple wood. Besides these doors, it was worth it to keep that nest. That it had a lot of sentimental value, so they kept it as is. The copper looked like gold. Look at Rashi for a second. It was pure. In Erechin, it talks about this kind of copper, and there's a machlokes in Gemara whether it's worth half the amount of gold or maybe even double that of gold. But Rashi says, if you look in the Haftarah we just read on Shavuos, it says nechoshes kolol, that the legs of the malachim can nechoshes kolol, very, very beautiful nechoshes. We were as we were reading the right before the Haftarah, I forgot where I was. I was in the shul next door, but for some reason I thought I'm the balabas over there. I scream out, Rabbi Said Michel Brocha says you should stand during this Haftarah. And the Gabbai looked at me, he gave me such a dirty look, and he sat. The whole shul stood, and he made a macha, sort of. But the Michel Brocha does say that when you read it together with the chazan, as you should in a place that doesn't have a real klaf, like we don't have, unfortunately, so then you stand because of the kedusha of that Haftarah. Anyway, next year. That Gabbai, interesting you say that. That Gabbai came over to me and he said, wasn't it beautiful that, because I don't want to say, okay, I'm not going to say, fine. I davened late. I davened in the 8:30 minyan. I fell asleep because I didn't sleep Erev Yontiv. I was preparing the shir and everything, so it's not usual. Maybe twice in my life that it happened. And he came over to me after davening. He said, I never knew they'd lay in Rus on Shavuos. Anyway, says the Gemara. Rebbe Elazar ben Yaakov Omer, Nechoshes Kleinisa Isav, Haisam Ira, Kishel Zav. It was a special, the special kind of copper. So now the official Mishnah is sponsored in honor of the entire MDY team. Ve'elu Lignai. We just spoke about the 4 or 5 people, right, Yaakov? What's the guy's name that you said yesterday? Ben Katan. Yeah, Ben Katan. And now we're going to talk about the ones that Chachamim didn't say shvach, the opposite. They criticized them. Ve'elu Lignai. Shabeis garmu le'rotzu lamid al ma'isa lechem aponim. They didn't want to teach the tricks that they had to bake the lechem aponim. Shabeis aftinos le'rotzu lamid al ma'isa k'teres. Beis Aftinos didn't want to show the Klal Yisrael the tricks that they had to make the k'teres go up in a beautiful, straight column of smoke. Hugras ben Levi hoyedeh perek bashir v'le'rotzu lamid. Hugras had a special way of singing, making some sound, and he didn't want to teach anybody how to do it. Ben Kamtzor le'rotzu lamid al ma'isa achtav. Ben Kamtzor was able to take 4 pens and write the Shem Hashem in one shot. Just all together, all 4 letters in one shot. Al Rishonim Nemar, Zechat Tzadik Livrocha. Mishlei it says in one pasuk, Zechat Tzadik Livrocha. We had the pasuk yesterday. Val Elu Nemar V'Shem. The end of the pasuk is V'Shem Rishoim Yirkov. The name of the Rishoim should rust. That's what I thought, rat. But Rashi says rust. Tanara Bonon Beis Garmu Hoy Bekim B'Maisei Lechem Aponim V'Leirotzel L'Namid. So what is going on here? Now, if you learn shkalim, shkalim by me is a very scary word. You say shkalim, I start shaking. But at a certain point in shkalim, like Daf Yud Gimel, becomes like a gadata for the rest of the Masechta, and it has this Gemara literally, I didn't check, but I'm thinking word for word, the entire Amud. Beis garmoy became b'maitzalachem aponim v'leirotzel lamid. This family, Garmu, they knew how to make lechem aponim, and they didn't want to teach anybody. Here's the second time it mentions the artisans of Mitzrayim. They said, oh, we know how to bake bread like that. So here is what the bread might look like. 2 shitas, either like this. Levi, Friedman, and I, we went to that bakery. What is it called again? And he's going to say it's next to Avigdor. Seidel's Bakery, next to Avigdor Fold, I think. And he does a whole demonstration, a few hours, kedai to go there, if you're coming to Israel. Or it's like this. He does this one. And in fact, Levi Friedman will tell you that when he baked this bread and he took it out of the oven, it flopped. He couldn't take it. It's just too hard to make. It's this thick, and it's a funny shape. Didn't go well. So that's the problem. Okay. That I don't know about. So what happened? But the artisans in Mitzrayim, they figured they know how to do it. But they didn't know how to remove it from the oven without it falling apart. The ones from Mitzrayim, they heated up the oven from outside. They figured the way to do it, there's different stages, and you have to heat up the pan, and then you put the dough in, and then you heat this. It's a chachma. And they did it the wrong way. But the Jews, the Beis Garmu, they heated up the oven from inside and baked it from the inside. The Egyptians, their bread molded, it wasn't cooked well, it wasn't baked well, so therefore it was moldy, and Beis Garmu had perfect bread. Chacham realized they made a mistake. Whatever he does in this world, any kind of, if a person has a certain talent, whatever it is, shenemar koil hanikra b'shmi v'lechvaydi b'rasiv. V'lechvaydi b'rasiv, all talents. A guy knows how to walk on his hands, a guy knows how to juggle, a guy knows how to make bread. It's for HaKadosh Baruch Hu's covet. V'chazru Beis Garmu l'mkaiman, and they brought Beis Garmu back to the place. Now they were playing games. Oh, now you realize that you need us. We don't want to come. So they doubled this sechar. This I have a little bit of a problem. I don't have 100% pshat. Different people attempt, because we're going to see soon that Rabbi Akiva said that they were tzaddikim. They did the right thing. At the end of the day, they were right. So if they were so right, why did they double their schar? It could be the best I was able to get to is that they weren't getting paid as much as they really deserved. But once Chachamim realized that they're really talented and that their talent is needed, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and as I don't remember if it's the Aruch, but he says a beautiful thing that when a person has a talent and he's the only one that knows how to do it, that means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying specifically, you do it and nobody else do it. I want you to do it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him the talent not to be shared with other people. He's the one. So Mela, they doubled their sechar. It's not b'chol yom. It means it means the whole year they got 12 mana. V'hayoim esrim v'arba, and nowadays they make 24. They doubled the sechar. It used to be 24, and they doubled it to 48. Why don't you teach your craft? We know from tradition that the Beis Hamikdash will be destroyed. Perhaps somebody will take this chachma and use it for the wrong thing for Avodah Zarah. So Chacham didn't buy it. Chacham understood that's just an excuse and they want to keep it for themselves and make more money. Later generations, Rebbe Kiva figured out that they were sincere. Yet when they were alive, Chacham did give them a shvach for one thing. They only they only ate whole wheat bread. They didn't eat the good geschmack of bread. Why? That they're bringing home bread from the lechem hapanim, the leftovers. The Gemara goes over this over and over, the same yisoid. Even though they didn't take from the Beis Hamikdash, but they didn't want people to say anything. That's also very important that people shouldn't talk about you, and therefore they made a Kabbalah. They're not going to eat any pure white, whatever it is in those days. They're going to eat the coarse bread. Now, what? What now? Right now, you're asking why, if Rebbe Kiva, that's the Rishonim ask, if Rebbe Kiva, who was before Rebbe, decided that they're good, why did Rebbe put in the Mishnah that I don't have a good answer for, but the Rishonim talk about it. Boys, I forgot to mention, as usual, today is a perfect day for the Yitzhar to creep in, and that is, we're coming off of Shavuos, especially for those in America. So I'm saying this for those, if you got to this point of the year, you might be behind 2 daf, 3 daf because of Yenta, because of Erev Yontif. And this is where the Yitzhar gets people. And this is where he throws them off track. And this is where you have to do the trick, and that's just jump ahead, do today's daf, do tomorrow's daf. Obviously, you have to do daf Lamed Hey, because that's like a classic shir, of course. But Lamed Vav is okay. You could skip Lamed Vav, just write it down. Lamed Zayin, don't skip Lamed Hey. That I have to say you have to do, but on your own time. Today you do Lamed Ches, tomorrow you do Lamed Tes. Eventually you'll make it up, Be'ezer Hashem. Don't fall for the trap of the Yitzhar. Oh, I already missed 3 daf. I'm done with Yoma. Don't do it. That's when he gets people right in this kind of time during Yontif and that sort of thing, in the 2-day Yontif. What were you doing, Leil Shavuos? I don't know, but you weren't learning Daf Yomi. I get it. A guy just wrote me an email as I was walking here. I read an email. A guy says, "You know what I was doing Leil Shavuos? I learned the longest Taisis in Shas. And I finished it as Bracha started." I hope he was not joking. I thought it was interesting. Okay. So Beis Haftinas. What happened with Beis Haftinas? Tana Rabbanan. Beis Haftinas, so he became a Beis Haftinas for the Rotzel Lamed. So this is what Beis Haftinas did. Here's the Mizbeach HaKtoires. It's very small, short, as you can see. And they put something in there that caused the smoke to go in a straight column up and didn't spread to the sides. The same exact story that happened with Lechem Hapanim. They sent out the artisans from Mitzrayim. We could get it for cheaper. We go to the Arabs, get it for half price. They didn't know how to do it like the Beis Haftinas. So what did they know? They knew how to do ketores. They knew how to make the beautiful smell and everything, but they didn't. One trick they didn't know how to do. They didn't know how to make the smoke go up like a stick. And the Mitzrims went to all directions like smoke does. Baruch Hu created everything for His honor. Oh, what is going on here? Before it says says the Marsha beautiful. Before who's everybody who's called in my name is talking about human beings. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created human beings with talents, and those talents are for my covet. Now we're talking about a spice. Hashem, the creations of Hashem, like spices. Limaneo are for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's beautiful. Ma'am is beautiful. Now, what I thought was very interesting is, as the story before, they had to double the salary and then they came. For what? For a pillar of smoke. They had the Ketores. The Ketores is fine. That one pillar was missing. So it goes to the sides. No. For that pillar of smoke, we're willing to pay double the salary. Why? Because it shows that they're the right ones to do it. Hashem said, that's the way I want it. It's a simim neshamayim. They are going to do it because they know how to do it perfectly, and that's the way to do it. They know how to do it, and it's a beautiful smell and everything. No, that's not the perfect way. Perfect way is like this, and if that's the perfect way, I need to pay you double. They double the salary, either from 12 to 24 or from 24 to 48, but it's double. Why aren't you teaching us? We know from tradition that the Beis Hamikdash will be destroyed. Maybe somebody will come and use it for Avodah Zarah. However, this Chacham were able to give them praise. Kallah didn't go. Now, imagine those days. They barely showered. They didn't have deodorant. They needed these good fragrances, and they took one for the team. They went out all not so good smelling. Now they do discuss that in Yerushalayim you didn't have to wear a Kallah didn't wear perfume because of the beautiful smell that was in the entire Yerushalayim from the Ketores. But if you married somebody from a different place, or you're going to go on a vacation somewhere, women would wear these necklaces that had perfume coming out of it just to disguise all the smells. Now, they took upon themselves not to do it. I got to say this. I know it's not, maybe I'll have to edit it. I was in Bnei Brak by my aunt. And she looked at me and she said, what was the Lashon? What are you, a woman? Atala vesh dodorant? She couldn't believe it. A guy wears deodorant. Hashem Yirachim. How you talking? Wow. Okay. In those days, the women said that, like about themselves. It's not going to make it this book, but don't wear perfume. So that no one should accuse them. Nobody could accuse me that I'm stealing from the psalmim of the Ketores and I'm using it on myself. As Noam points out, look, they were real. They were Safek Me'ilah. Oh, very good. They were very makbid and visim nikim, and they had a great excuse. But Chacham nevertheless said, "We don't like your excuse, but the excuse is real." How do we know? Tanya R Michel. No, it was a malach they know. What? Who said there's an ace? Yeah, the mizbeach, not the Ketores. I don't think. Yeah. It's umnos. It was. You had to know what spice. What is it called? In Ketores we say every day we say until I learned this Gemara like a few years ago. I didn't know what it was. It says Mala Oshan Kolshu. What does that mean? Mala Oshan Kolshu. It brings up smoke Kolshu. What does that mean? Mala Oshan is the name of a spice they use. It's called Mala Oshan. It's the name of a spice because it makes the smoke go up in a column. And how much do you put in there? Kolshu, a little bit. Anyway, so the I was once walking in the way. I saw one of their descendants. They wanted their own honor and they wanted to put down Hashem's honor, because if they would have taught other people how to do it, it would have been more honor for Hashem. Achshav, look what happened. Hashem is still here. But where are they? This Rabbi Shmuel ben Loiga, I only found him again in Shkolim, because it's the same exact story. One time in Shas. One time we're out there gathering different spices. This is Rabbi Kiva, who also Sochak Ubacha. He saw this kid, Sochak Ubacha. He was laughing and crying. Why are you crying? I remembered about the great honor that my forefathers had. They were the only ones that knew how to do Ketores. Over here you see, it was like Ruach HaKodesh kind of. Akadosh Baruch Hu was not upset at them, the kid.
So Rabbi Kiva learned from the kid, and later on he said
that's what it says. And why did you all of a sudden realize that it's going to come back to you? Here's the malashon. Here's that spice called malashon. I see it. Hareuli, show it to me. I'm sworn to secrecy. It's right in front of you. It's on this mountain, but I'm not going to tell you which one of those many plants it is. And here it is. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri met a guy that had a book, and it said Mala Ashan, and here's a depiction of it, a drawing of what it looked like. Where are you from? I come from that famous family that does the Ketores. What's in your hand? The Megillah. Hareli, show it to me. We never showed it to anybody. Here it is. Take the book. Vizarba. But I want you to be careful. Don't give it out to people. When I told this over to Rabbi Kiva, that's it. You can't teach. You can't say that they're wrong. Now let's say they're wrong. The kasha is, how come the Mishnah says Shem Rishoim Yirkov? From here, Ben Azai says, and this is a big, big yisoid in life. Rabbi said, big yisoid. If you only came for this line, it's kedai. B'shimcha yikreucha. Your name will be called when it needs to be called. Uvimkoimcha yoshivucha. Says Rashi, Lo yidag adam lo yimar pleni kapach parnasasi. Nobody can take away my parnasa. Ki al karchacha b'shem kreucha lavoi v'lashav v'mkoimcha. What you have coming will be coming to you, and no one can take it away from you. And whatever belongs to you will come to you. You hear this, the Chazon Ish in Emunah B'tachon says the story that a guy had a printing press, and some not nice guy came and opened up a printing press next door to him. So the guy that owned the store to begin with goes, knocks on his door and says, Shalom Aleichem, I own the printing press next door. Do you need to know where to buy paper? I have the best source for paper, for ink. And here's my stuff. Whatever you need, take. You need any help in the machines, I'll tell you how to do it. Just let me know. And he goes back to the store. So his son said, Abba, understand, you don't want to be upset and fine, but why help him out? So he said, I have to work for my parnasa. This guy is helping me out. He's taking away. He's helping. He's taking the hours I need to work. Now, instead of working 10 hours a day, I only have to work 5. My parnasa, I'm going to get my parnasa. When you believe like that, when you really believe, a lot of people, they have a lot of emunah and bitachon. But when it comes to the wallet, all of a sudden they start crying. And here's a person that realized, even when it comes to his wallet, no, Akadosh Baruch Hu fears the Welt, and that's it. One kingdom cannot go into the other kingdom even for a millisecond. There's a famous story, they say it about R Michel Feinstein, maybe the Brisker Rav, I don't know who, I think R Michel Feinstein. They were sitting at a chuppah, and they're looking for the wine, they can't find the wine. So they go, they find the wine. Then it comes to the ring, and the chassan pulls his ring, and it falls between the cracks, they can't find the ring. That's it, gone. So they have to run and get a ring. The kids are an hour and a half later, they're about to do, and then this a disaster. And people starting to say, this is a siman. The shidduch is not a very good shidduch. R Michel Brocha said, no, it's a siman that they're supposed to get married at 9 o'clock, not at 7 o'clock. That's the only siman. When a person is supposed to get married, that's when he's supposed to get married. When a malchus is supposed to come over, that's when he's supposed to come over. Hugras ben Levi. Tanya, oh, thank you. We just turned to Amud Beis shidduch for Esther Devora bas Gittel and the shidduch for Devora basuri and Eli Nishmas, the victims of Meron, for Shlomo for the victims of Meron, and the MDY Chabura is truly one big family. Hugras ben Levi. Tanya Kshunois Kallah ben Ima. He had a special way of sound. Machnas gudolei terpiv umeniach its boy ben hanimin. Rabbi said, you can do it with me. Put your thumb in your mouth. Do it. Don't be embarrassed. Put your finger between where your mustache should be. Doesn't have where you don't have a mustache. I am choished that you're supposed to put your finger in your nose. The Gemara doesn't say it. Up the nose, and they make a crazy sound. For some reason, it makes a beautiful sound. It works. They were shocked by the unbelievable sound that came out of his mouth, and he wouldn't tell anybody how he did it. So when it comes to singing, we can understand he doesn't want to give it over the trick. For the same reason, they didn't want to give over for the bread and for the ketores. Okay. Because you could use this for Avodah Zarah. But here's a person that didn't have a good reason. He didn't want to teach how to write 4 letters in one hand. It was Shem Hashem. Yud Kei Vav Kei. You want to write it in one shot. Why? Maybe that there shouldn't be a hefsek, there shouldn't be one letter done before the other, finished before the other. Like you're going to have Yud, K, and you have, it's a chaser in Hashem's name, so to speak. You did the whole name in one shot. Rabbi Zibishnein wanted to write a Sefer Torah with 4 seifrim. That every time they came to Shem Hashem, each one grabs the kulmus and they write. One guy does the yud, one does the hey. And Reb Chaim Kanievsky says, no, it'll come out disgusting. It'll come out menumer. Don't do it like that. Amru loy, ma reisa shalei lamed. Kulam matzu tshuva l'divrayim. Everybody had a good reason. Ben kam tzalei matzu tshuva l'dvarav. He had no reason why not to teach the Olam how to do it. It was supposedly it's a nice way of doing it. I saw someone wants to say that he invented printing. What he did, he put the letters on the bottom and he just put them down in one shot. That was his trick, and they didn't want to. That's what they say. They didn't want to. They were worried that people are going to make svarim like that. Whatever. Okay. Eli Rishonim Nemar Zechat Tzaddik Devrocha. Bal ben Kamtze v'Chaver Nemar v'Shem Rishonim Yirkov. So those who didn't do the Ketores, the lechem upon Shem Rishonim Yirkov. My v'Shem Rishonim Yirkov. What does it mean? The name of the Rasha should be Yirkav, spoiled, or like Rashi says, rusted. Why the name? The person, the Rasha should be Yirkav. What's the name of the person? Omar Belazar, Ragbivus Tala Bishmoisam, Delay Maskinim Bishmayu. Unbelievable. You should not name anyone, and this is important to us also. Sometimes it happens, a person has, let's say, grandfather wasn't such a Er L'Chayid or whatever. It's not kedai to name that because the name means everything. A name has hashpa on the person. And when you name a person after a Rasha, especially a Rasha, in Eretz Yisrael, unfortunately, people call their kids Nimrod. The shoe store is Nimrod. Again, Rabbi Zibishnein has a story. The guy had twins. And he said, well, if I'm Yitzchak and my wife is Rivka, then the twins have to be Yaakov and Esav. And then he comes and he says, we got a big problem. Esav is not doing well. He needs surgery and he's not doing well. So he had a shaila. This is a typical reason. Could we take 1 million of 10 people and just rename the kid without the permission of the parents? And he says, yeah, you could. Huh? Refuah Shlema for Refuah ben Rivka. Yeah. Chaim Esav Refuah. Beautiful. Yeah. Matzah Ravina, Maisa ben Doyeg, ben Yosef. Here, Doyeg, a Rasha. So there's a kid, his name, the parents call him Doeg ben Yosef. His father died. The Gross Chacham, before he died, he decided to name his kid a beautiful name, Doeg. And she would measure him every day. Very nice thing. Whatever was extra. So if the kid was 10 inches, and then the next day she measured was 10.5 inches, you give a half an inch of gold to the Beis Hamikdash. And when the enemy in Nebuchadnezzar came in there, Tavachtu, she shechted her own son, v'chalatu, and she ate her son, v'aleh koinen yirmiyah. This is the pasuk, and this is what we say in slichas, in kinnas, but we say it also. No, don't we say it in slichas? In toichal noshim piryam or lelei tipuchim. So tipuchim means the children that she brought up, but we can learn it tfachim. She measured them. This is the kid that she measured and the measurement she gave. Mishiva Ruach HaKodesh v'Imeres, the Ruach HaKodesh answers. Im Yeharig ben Mikdash Hashem Kohen ben Avi Zechari ben Yada. So, Taisis Yishanim asks a kasha. Let's see if you come up with the teretz. Givaldik teretz. Rabbi Yishmael beni Barcheni. How could you call a kid Yishmael? According to the Mandalama that Yishmael didn't do tshuva, how could you call your kid Yishmael? Anybody have a good answer? It's a beautiful answer. You're going to love the answer. No? Very good. Bryna Shalaylam. I heard it from at least 2 people. Bryna Shalaylam called Yishmael. So that's the name of Hashem. Hashem called it, then you're allowed. That's what the Taisis Yishanim says. Look on the side, he says. Says the Gemara. So the Gemara says, but at the end of the day, you see that somebody called his kid Doeg. Says the Gemara, Shalom Aleichem. Chazim Ma'isalik Behi. His mother shechted him. It's a right to what I'm saying, not a kash on what I'm saying. When you mention a tzaddik, you just mention his chusim. Just he himself brings up beautiful things. And a rasha creates that you just mention one rasha, then you mention other ones together. Why? Because it's in the pasuk. Tzaddik mi'atzmo d'chsev zecher tzaddik singular levracha. You mention one rasha, brings all the rashayim in there, plural. Funny story. Needs a little explanation. Ravina tells this chacham, Rabbanan, who was the speaker. He said, "How do you know this idea? He didn't get the kasha. It says mefurish in the Mishlei. No, not in the ksuvim, in the Torah. First, Hashem mentions the name Avraham, and then it says, then he gives him all these brachas. And then he continues to ask him, and where do you see the idea of Shem Rishon Yirkov? It says in Mishlei. He doesn't get it. First time he doesn't get it, okay. But the second time, it's a shayla. Good kasha. He talks about Zdoim, and then it says, then it reminded Hashem, he says they're terrible people. Tzaddik Dor ben Shnei Rishayim b'leilam saying there's a story where Tzaddik lived between 2 Rishayim. Rosh Dor ben Shnei Tzaddikim b'leilam, and they both didn't learn from their host. Tzaddik Dor ben Shnei Rishayim b'leilam, who was a Revadia. He lived with Achav and Izevel, 2 tremendous Rishayim, and he remained a Tzaddik. Rosh Dor ben Shnei Tzaddikim b'leilam Esav. Over here you see people say, "Oh, terrible parents. This kid went off the derech." Esav, Davos, Esav, Yishmael. They had kids that went off the derech. How did this kid Esav that lived with Davos, the Imais, how did he go off the derech? It's unbelievable. Omer Belazar, Mir B'Chazim Sh'Tzadikim Atalamid Kallah L'Rishayim. When the Kodesh Baruch Hu curses the Rasha, there's a bracha to the tzaddik. It's a seesaw. When one goes up, the other one goes down. Then there's a curse, this is daim. When Kodesh Baruch Hu curses the Rishayim, there's a bracha to tzaddikim. The Siv, Anshi's daim Ram Chadon Hashem. I got it, Yeshua. Thank you. I need some of that coffee you're just making. So first Hashem spoke to Avraham, and then Achir Par Elohim Imoy. Amar Belazar. I feel Mishal Tzadik Echad Olam Nivra. Mom's paying attention even from the kitchen. I feel Mishal Tzadik Echad Olam Nivra. Akash Baruch Hu created the world even for one Tzadik. Shenema. Vayar Eli Kimis Ha'or Ki Toiv. Vein Toiv El Tzadik. One Tzadik. Shenemar Imru Tzadik Ki Toiv. You see the Tzadik is called Toiv, and Hashem created the world for Toiv. Amar Belazar. This is a terrible Gemara for me. If you forget one thing from learning, Gorim Galus Lebadav, you create that your kids will go into Galus. Shenemar, Vetishkach Torah Selikecha, Eshkach Bonecha Gamani. Now, the Rishonim talk about this and they say Mishakeach is a lashon of you cause the Torah to be forgotten by doing things, by putting shtusim in your head. But stop forgetting normal, natural forget. Now, today is a very, very good day to be a Gronik and not a Chabatzker. Because the Gross says this doesn't apply today to Torah Shebal Peh that's written down. If we were learning from Gemara, we're not mechuyev. It's those in those days that they were learning things about Peh, they couldn't forget it. The Balatanya says in Shulchan Aruch Harav that no, it applies today. And you should sit. That's why I think maybe Lubavitch is not so into Daf Yomi. Supposed to learn one thing. Aichitas, they learn all this stuff. But okay, fine. It's not kedai today. Today, if you're Lubavitch, become a Gronik for one day. So you don't have issues with this line here. Goyrim golos labanim. They take him down. If he's all the way up there, they'll take him down from his position. I'm going to be moyes you, despise you from serving me. Unbelievable sight. When it's tzaddik is niftar, Rabbi Yankel Galinsky says, even in the time of the Chazon Ish, people said, Chazon Ish, you know what we had before that? He said, I remember the Chavetz Chaim. People were saying about the Chavetz Chaim, you should have seen the Gdolim that we had before the Chavetz Chaim. He says, every generation is the same thing. There used to be Rebbe Yashiv, and the Stipler, and the this, and this Rebbe and that Rebbe. Every dar has tzaddikim, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu plants them in the dar. V'zarach HaShemesh, u'bo HaShemesh, the famous story. V'zarach HaShemesh u'bo HaShemesh. When the sun goes down, the sun comes up. Actually, Kafsa Shimshon Shel Eli. I'm happy that you're enjoying your own joke. Shimshon Shel Eli, Zarcha Shimshon Shel. Huh? He's still laughing. His own joke. He didn't even say the joke. He's laughing his head off. All I know is he looked at me and he started laughing. Okay, I have no idea what he was referring to. When Eli finished his nevuah, Shmuel already started saying a nevuah. Now, there's a famous Gemara in Kedushin, and it occurred to me, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought I had a little bit of an interesting hara. It says, Miyoim Shemeis Rebbe, Rabbi Yehuda was, the day Rebbe was nifter, Rabbi Yehuda was born. And then it says something interesting. Let me ask you before I say this interesting thing. This is my hara. Who is the most popular person in Shas? Name mentioned the most often in Shas. Huh? What do you say? No? Abaya? I say Rava. I did a search today. It's not Abaya. Abaya is mentioned half the times of Rava. I did Rabbi Yochanan. I did a bunch of... I think Rava. I might be completely wrong. But here's what's interesting. Miyayim Shemeis Rava, Noilad, Ravashi. Ravashi, the author of the Gemara, was born on the day that Rav was nifter. Thought it was interesting. Maybe that's why he mentioned him so much. Stop. Hara. Anyway, but when somebody's nifter, next person. Omar Rebbe Chia bar Abba. This is also a very big yisod and a big chizuk for us. I'm not joking. This is big chizuk. Omar Rebbe Chia bar Abba. Omar Rebbe Yochanan. Ra HaKadosh Baruch Hu shetzadikim muatim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu noticed not that many tzadikim. Omad ushtolam b'chol dor v'dor. HaKadosh Baruch Hu planted them in every single generation. Shenemar ki Lashem mitzukei eretz vayoshes aleim tevel. The Arizal told Reb Chaim Vital, he said, you know, if you were in the time of the Tanaim, you'd be very chashiv in the time of the Tanaim. So he said, but I'm just Reb Chaim Vital. He said, no. Every gadol lefi his generation. So in our generation, it's a tremendous chizuk. You think about it, in our generation, how low the generation is. Don't look at yourself, I'm just a balabas, I don't know how to learn that well, I'm just a Daf Yomi. No. If you were in the time of the Tanaim, you'd be chashiv. The Chavetz Chaim says, I'll explain what I'm saying in a mashal. Chavetz Chaim says it's famous mashal. He met a guy. He says a story. He met a guy that owned a bakery, and the guy was very depressed. He said, "What's going on?" Yeah, nobody buys my stuff, and they complain that it's burnt and it's this and it's that. Then World War I broke out, and he meets the guy. The guy is mamish floating on the clouds. Why? He says, crazy. Everybody's buying like crazy. Whatever I make, I could burn it. They buy it. They chop it. He says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in this generation is chopping everything. No matter what you give him, he chops. There's nobody here. Where are the mu'atim? We're the look at the world. We're the nothing, thousands of a percent of the population. So whatever luxury we sell, he's chopping. The daf that we do, he's chopping. It's tremendous chizuk. We shouldn't look down at ourselves. Oh, we're just this and this. We're nobodies. Look at how bright they were. We are chashuv. In our generation, we are chashuv. The world was created even for one individual. One tzaddik. He mentioned it in the name of his Rebbe, but he himself says, Ragli Chasidov Yishmar. Ragli means because of, not the feet. He's learning because of the Chasidim Yishmar. He'll keep the world. Chasidov Tuva Mashma. It's Chasidov is plural, not one. You're trying to bring a raya that it's one. If you look inside, and I did, it's missing a yud over there. It says Chasidoi. We read it Chasidov. So it's for the individual, for the singular, it's to teach us. Why was it missing a yud over there? To teach us. No. You're right, we read it Chasidov, but you should know the world is created and will be created even for one tzaddik. Have a wonderful day. You should have. You blew it. You thought about it. You thought about it, and you didn't even tell me. I think people know. I think people know what to do. But you're right. It needs to be mentioned 100%. 100%.
Let's say you could do. How do you make yourself forget something? You can't make yourself forget. It means if you.
No, you could. By learning Torah and then watching a movie afterwards. You're making yourself forget.
I heard Pshat is that you intentionally don't do Chazar. You don't make efforts to remember. You don't.
I mean, literally, you should see what the Shulchan Aruch says. You got to sit there and chazer. Don't move forward. One halacha, you do. Yeah.
Why do we care if they go 8, 12, or 24? What difference does it make?
I told you. It's so important. It's not even a kasha.
Is it the same to do with the
What's pshat that we make golden doors? What's pshat that we do this? Everything's to show the beauty, how much we.
Get the Voch by David.
Good work, Rabbi.
Rabbi Eli, what's special at Daf Lamed Hey?
He's not on yet.
He's gone. Okay.
I guess you have to watch it to know.
It's amazing. Such a good.
Mark.
How are you, Mark? Get the Voch.
Good to work from Zevi.
That was the singing. First of all, I'm not
Rabbi Zevi, good
Second of all, I'm not going to answer anyone
Good work, Adalia.
because I'm no Reb. The person who should be calling Reb is Rabbi David from Manchester. Not me. I'm not a rabbi. I don't have smecha. Sorry. Sorry to disappoint
Mr.
you all.
Schuper, how are you?
No, he was looking for a
Thank
donation.
God, Mr. Akierman. Very well.
Reb does not mean rabbi.
Are you sure?
Yes. Yeah, Reb is like Mr.
Yeah.
Just,
All right. If you say so. If you say, you gentlemen, that is, if you're looking like that, then
They will say, Harav, Agu, and Atma. Then,
Who do you think you're a gentleman? Who do you think you're a gentleman?
Maybe
Have a
you.
good day, everyone.
These guys
Have a
have
Have a
day.
great day.
but
Stay safe.
I need, I'm low on stock. I need something. I need to back up another vendor.
Maybe Mr. Kovlev is a gentleman, which he is.
Hello, everyone.
Absolutely.
But it's because you have Emunah or because you figure it's better for business?
Hello, Yoel.
This is an Emunah thing.
How are you?
Rosh Hashem, how are you, Yoel?
Ari, how was your
And
day?
you tell me
Okay.
my
Ellie, you want those shirts?
Iets
had a lot
wat
of cheesecake?
was machst du?
Donate it. We'll never wear it.
Some cheesecake.
Good
morning,
Rabeli. Yes, Mr.
I don't
Ben
know.
Schwartz. How are you this evening?
Harry Shalom, really?
Hey Zevi, how are you?
Baruch Hashem, what's going on with you?
Well, good. No complaints.
Oh, Baruch Hashem. How was your day?
Moisai, welcome back. We missed yesterday. You know,
Good morning.
after Cheers, Zoom had 11 people on.
Shemesh Moreno.
Not joking.
Now you know where the boat.
That's heavy.
Now you know how you did your Kramer feels.
I know you said you shared the 0. During the share, there's 11.
My mother has an exercise at 9.
Really? What was that 46 number you said on Zoom, the first Matziyanta by you?
This is 46 live. I'm at the Yenta. On the double share. I gave the same share twice. I gave it on Yenta itself. It was beautiful. On Yenta, 12 o'clock in the morning, there was over 70 people in the base medrash.
Wow.
David Address sponsored. I don't know if he's probably not on, but he sponsored. We did sushi and ice cream. It was very nice.
There was no nicer.
Yeshua told me, why are you buying so much sushi? I said, there's going to be 70 people. He's like, no, there's only going to be 30. The kids there was not a piece of sushi left. 0. I bought 2 giant trays. Nothing. And,
Yeshua always underestimates.
Don't listen to him.
No.
I love Ali.
Yo, I missed you. How are you doing?
Did you see a picture of me?
No. Where? Where should I see a picture of you?
Someone man, you father-in-law man to send it to you.
Okay, I'll wait. I'll wait to see it. I didn't see it.
Hi, Rebelli. How are you?
Maybe he blocked his
Oh,
screen.
Bernard did
someone.
Y'all's in the Americas.
No, I'm not.
Good morning,
Rebelli. That was 2 weeks ago. That was with Eli Stefansky.
There's one last week by the mitzvah, by Grunberg's grandson's bar mitzvah.
Oh, yeah, the one by the Grunberg, yeah.
Picture of Yoel with a hat.
Good morning, Rebelli.
Good morning, how you doing, Gedalia? You're getting ready to go to yeshiva?
Yeah, I got my flip phone.
Listen, then you're set. Don't worry about anything else. You don't need a Gemara. You don't need anything. You just need a flip phone and a black hat. Make sure you do you have to wear a black hat in that yeshiva?
My black hat's apparently too spitzy.
Too spitzy?
Let's get a wider brim. Get a wider brim.
I don't know. Gedalia, what's the story with Daf Yomi in that yeshiva? Are you going to be able to continue with us?
Ask Moshe after. Ask
Daf Yomi, you go to another yeshiva.
Ask Moshe after. Rebelli, Pesach son is in our house, so.
And Matty Grunberg's. And Matty Grunberg's son-in-law.
Wow. Yeah. That's cool.
We'll have to dial in on the flip
That's
phone.
funny. I wonder if Pesach Waxman said something to his son about you. Because anybody that knows that you do daf so diligently,
Rebelli, still on.
Have you for the yeshiva? Seriously.
Rabbi Grunberg is his father-in-law, and he spoke to him about Joey.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, here's Rav Pesach. I see Rav Pesach is on. I mean, seriously, why wouldn't you take a boy that for on his own will? He has nothing. He lives in San Diego, and he's the daf.
San Francisco.
I did it on purpose just to get him going.
I spoke to him about him.
He hasn't asked in a while.
One second, Pesach's trying to speak.
He said he spoke to him. He did tell his son.
And Matty Grunberg also spoke to him, and I spoke to him, and Yoel spoke to him.
Wow. Yoel spoke to the Rosh Yeshiva.
Yes.
Oh, in Skokie, you're talking about. I'm talking about he's not going to Skokie.
No, in Buffalo Grove. No. He came in from St. Louis.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that.
Wits it is? Where are you going? To Wits?
Oh, you guys got a little mixed up.
MTI.
Missouri Tour Institute.
Yeah.
So we waxed
that kid Kramer is going there. Kramer. Repesach, Kramer's a very nice kid. His father comes to the shir, and the Kramer's in my son's class in his yeshiva now. He's a very, very nice kid. He's brilliant. He knows how to hack computers and stuff. He's a little dangerous.
Gedalia, let him hack your phone. He'll turn your.
Now Gedalia knows how. I'll be on the Zoom share.
He's going to turn Gedalia's good lunch, and he's going to turn his flip phone into a smartphone.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, the most sophisticated phone. All the disguise in a flip phone. Exactly.
Rebbe, it's just a flip phone. The number 4 doesn't even work. Don't worry.
No, but
dial 3 and 1. Dial 3 and 1. No problem.
Curfew's at 11 o'clock.
They're renovating the thing there.
You'll listen, to learn the Torah, they'll give you a little. They'll give you something maybe.
They'll give you a tour. I get the Voch. I get the Zuma.
Take care. Have a good day.
Ben, I get the Voch. Hope you don't have too many patients from eating too much cheesecake.
All right, I'm gonna go. Oh, Mark Ashkenazi, you should know. I'm not kidding you. That cheesecake, I have to know where you got it from. I'm a big cheesecake guy, and I brought it to the Beis Medrash whole. I didn't touch it. I brought it. I said, let's serve it at Beis Medrash. They decided not to serve it because people were flinching, whatever. So we served it matzah yontif.
Right.
Baruch Hashem, we served it then because then I got a lot. Woo! It was murdered. It was like
I like the way he put the note on his post-it.
What? What'd you say?
I think he wrote the note on a post-it. No?
Yeah, but, I wanted to keep that note, and I think they threw it out. Now that I'm thinking about it, it was on a blue thing. Yeah.
I think it was on a post-it note. That's what it looked like from when you showed it.
That's what's expected here in this country.
I hear.
Yeah. Baruch Hashem, he wrote it.
It was from Ariel Fish,
It looked good and it tasted even better.
Rebelli.
Yeah.
Now that I'm going to the yeshiva, you're going to come visit me.
If I'm in Chicago, why not? But why would I be in Chicago doing this?
Oh, St. Louis.
He's in St. Louis.
We're going to miss each other. I think there's more of a chance I'm coming to you in San Francisco. Then, okay, Rabbis, I got to run to Shachris. Have a great day, everybody.
He doesn't have to run. Nice to see you, Belly.